Meet Roberto, a 35-year-old man who gets offended easily. Even harmless jokes can make him upset. His balat sabuyas or thin-skinned nature makes him a target for teasing in his lively neighborhood. Roberto lives in a colorful, vibrant community where everyone knows each other. He loves his neighbors and enjoys spending time with them, but his sensitivity often creates tension. Roberto prides himself on being sensitive to others' feelings, but his sensitivity often backfires, making him overly defensive and easily upset. This has caused him to be cautious in social situations, always fearing that someone might say something that would hurt his feelings. Despite his good intentions, his reactions often leave him feeling isolated. One day, Roberto's friend, Juan, makes a harmless joke about Roberto's favorite football team losing. Roberto immediately gets offended, feeling attacked, and storms off. Juan, who has been friends with Roberto for years, is used to his reactions but wishes Roberto could take a joke. He watches Roberto walk away, hoping one day his friend will understand that not all comments are meant to hurt. The neighborhood kids notice Roberto's thin-skinned nature and start teasing him with playful jokes, knowing he'll react dramatically. They don't mean any harm, but Roberto's dramatic reactions make it hard for them to resist. Each time Roberto gets upset, the kids feel a mix of amusement and guilt, wishing he could join in the fun rather than be the subject of it. At dinner, Roberto's family talks about his sensitivity. His wife, Maria, and his son, Carlos, gently suggest that he should try not to take things too seriously and learn to laugh at himself. They love Roberto and want to see him happy, but they also see how his reactions affect his relationships. Maria recalls a recent gathering where Roberto's reaction to a joke made everyone uncomfortable. She hopes that by talking about it, they can help him see a different perspective. Roberto brushes off their suggestions, insisting that people should be more considerate of his feelings instead of making jokes at his expense. He feels misunderstood and unsupported, even though his family's intentions are good. This resistance creates a barrier between him and those he loves. Carlos, seeing his dad upset, promises himself to be more careful with his words around Roberto, but he wishes his dad would understand that sometimes laughter is a way to bond. At work, Roberto's colleagues make a harmless joke about his punctuality. Roberto takes it personally and avoids them for the rest of the day, feeling hurt and isolated. His colleague Anna notices his reaction and feels bad. She didn't mean to upset him and wonders how she can make amends. Meanwhile, Roberto sits at his desk, feeling more and more disconnected from his team. Roberto's boss, Mr. Lee, notices his behavior and advises him to lighten up and not take jokes too seriously. Roberto reluctantly nods but doesn't fully agree with the advice. Mr. Lee, having seen Roberto's potential, worries that his sensitivity might hold him back professionally. He remembers his own struggles with criticism early in his career and hopes Roberto can overcome this hurdle. Roberto's friends, including Juan, gather for a coffee and discuss how to help Roberto overcome his thin-skinned nature. They all care about him and want to see him happy. They brainstorm ways to support him without making him feel attacked. One suggests they gently tease him to help him build resilience, while others propose more direct conversations about how his reactions affect their friendships. One suggests they start with gentle teasing to help Roberto build resilience. The friends agree and plan to support Roberto on this journey, knowing it won't be easy. They reminisce about the fun times they've had together, hoping to bring back the carefree Roberto they used to know. Each friend commits to being patient and understanding, knowing that change won't happen overnight. The next day, Juan makes a light-hearted joke about Roberto's favorite hobby. Roberto starts to get upset but remembers his friend's intention to help him build resilience. He takes a deep breath and tries to see the humor in the situation. It's difficult for him, but he manages a small smile. Juan notices this and feels encouraged, hoping this small step is the beginning of a positive change for his friend. Roberto starts to realize that not all jokes are meant to hurt him. He begins to see the humor in Juan's joke and even chuckles a little. This small laugh feels like a significant breakthrough. He reflects on past situations where his quick temper might have overshadowed the intentions behind the words. For the first time, he considers that laughter might be a bridge rather than a barrier. At home, Roberto's family notices his small change and encourages him to continue trying to take things lightly. They praise him for making an effort and share stories of times they've laughed at themselves. Maria tells Roberto about a time she tripped in front of her colleagues and how she laughed it off. Carlos talks about a playful nickname his friends gave him. Their stories inspire Roberto to try harder. At work, Roberto tries to laugh off a joke from his colleague. His colleagues notice the change and appreciate his effort, feeling more comfortable around him. Roberto feels a sense of relief as he joins in their laughter. Anna, the colleague who previously upset him, makes an effort to include him in more conversations, and soon, Roberto finds himself looking forward to work interactions rather than dreading them. The neighborhood kids notice Roberto's new attitude and start teasing him less, realizing he's not as fun to tease anymore because he's not getting upset. Instead, they invite him to join their games, and Roberto finds himself enjoying their company. He realizes that he's missed out on a lot of fun because of his sensitivity. The kids teach him new games, and for the first time in a long while, Roberto feels like part of the group. Roberto receives positive feedback from his friends and family for his efforts. He starts feeling more confident and less defensive, enjoying social interactions more. His friends notice that he's more relaxed and happier. They continue to support him by including him in their activities and celebrating his progress. Roberto begins to understand that sensitivity can be balanced with resilience. Roberto's friends continue to support him with gentle teasing and encouragement. They celebrate his small victories and keep him motivated. One makes a point to share his own embarrassing moments, showing Roberto that everyone has their sensitive spots but can still laugh about them. This camaraderie helps Roberto feel less alone in his journey. One evening, Roberto reflects on how far he has come. He feels proud of his progress and grateful for his supportive friends and family who stood by him. He thinks about the moments he would have previously reacted negatively to and smiles at how he handled them differently. Roberto realizes that he's not only happier but also stronger, capable of facing challenges with a positive attitude. Juan decides to test Roberto's resilience with a slightly bolder joke. Roberto laughs it off, surprising himself and his friends. It's a big step forward for him. The friends cheer and congratulate Roberto, acknowledging his hard work. Roberto feels a mix of relief and pride, understanding that while sensitivity is part of who he is, it doesn't have to control his reactions. Roberto's improved attitude helps him bond better with his colleagues. They invite him to join more social activities, and he starts enjoying their company. Anna invites him to a team lunch, and Roberto finds himself laughing and sharing stories. His colleagues appreciate his newfound ability to take jokes in stride, and the office atmosphere becomes more harmonious. The neighborhood kids start to see Roberto as a friend rather than a target. They include him in their games and treat him with more respect. Roberto enjoys playing with the kids, learning new things, and even teaching them a few games from his childhood. He feels a sense of belonging that he hasn't felt in a long time. Roberto decides to share his journey with others in the community, hoping to inspire them to overcome their own sensitivities and embrace a lighter approach to life. He organizes a small talk at the community center, where he speaks candidly about his struggles and the support he received. His honesty and vulnerability touch many, and he receives applause and gratitude from the audience. Roberto's family is proud of his transformation. They celebrate his journey and encourage him to keep growing and embracing his newfound resilience. Maria surprises him with a small party, inviting friends and family to celebrate his progress. Roberto feels overwhelmed with gratitude and realizes how much he has grown with their support. Roberto looks forward to a future where he can enjoy life without being weighed down by his sensitivities. He feels optimistic, happy, and ready to face new challenges. He knows there will be tough moments, but he feels prepared to handle them with grace and humor. Roberto is excited about the person he is becoming and the new experiences awaiting him. Thank you for watching Roberto's story. Have you ever struggled with being overly sensitive? Share your stories in the comments below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more heartwarming and inspiring animated stories. Your experiences can inspire others who might be going through similar struggles, and together we can build a supportive and understanding community.